Sorry for the multiple scopes here because I'm actually at work, so I have to sort of go into the bus and then drive and then come back and talk to you guys. But it's lovely to see you. So I'll try to talk. I'm right near the bus actually, which doesn't really help. But anyway, so what I was trying to say to you guys was what you will notice, National 19, my friends, etc., is that tomorrow or today, whatever your time is, you will notice that people will start blaming certain things. Okay? Now, what you'll have is some people will start blaming Islam. That's fine. That means they don't know much about what's really going on. Now, but others, the real enemy is the one that will start blaming, you'll start hearing it, toxic masculinity. The society is not treating its underclass very well. There are racists. What are the other ones? People who are anti-religion or anti-one specific religion. People who are bigoted. So once the people who say those reasons, I submit to you, are the enemy of Western civilization, right? That is the reason that this continues. And when you see those people, you will probably notice that those people are what you would believe to be native to Europe. And when I say native, I mean that you would guess that they have been there and their ancestors have been there for at least 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 to 15 generations. And it will be people of that extraction, let's say, which will be saying to you that the enemy is the toxic masculinity, the enemy is the racism, the enemy is this. Anyone who says that is, to me, the real enemy, and what I call the enemy of Western civilization, which seeks to bring down the civilization itself for legitimate reasons, I may add. Now, I don't side with them, obviously, because I quite like civilization. But those who get the short end of the stick, some of those throughout human history in every iterate of civilization, choose to resent the society which gave them the short end of the stick in the very first place. This is the enemy. Because as I submitted previously, if, let's say that some right-wing extremist was able to eradicate all, Islam or whatever they think is the enemy from Europe, I submit to you that the problem would not go away. Why? Because we saw it in past iterates. We saw it in communism. We saw it when the Hittites 3,000 years ago split amongst themselves and started assassinating king after king after king. Right? And that was only resolved after 65 years of assassinations when the new king decided to banish those who were the enemy of civilization. Hello, Just Dawn, I'm great. It happened, as we know, in the Soviet Union. We know that the Bolsheviks were able to do what they did and were able to destroy all of the successful farmers. We know from the Gulag Archipelago, we know that it destroyed the Ukraine. Oh, sorry, Ukraine, not the Ukraine, sorry. We know what happened in Romania. This stuff is constant and had nothing to do with Islam at the time. So I would submit to you that radical Islam is the weapon that the neo-Stalinist movement is using to bring down Western civilization. So instead of getting angry at the weapon itself, find the real enemy. And the real enemy, you will see them on the news, everywhere else. The ones who call the white person racist or whatever they call them, and some of them are, by the way, but that's not really the main problem here. That's just a small issue compared to what we're seeing. They will say toxic masculinity. They will say what are the other stupid things that we're hearing now? Men are the problem. All of these sort of one-dimensional comments which attack Western civilization. You have to give up to all of those who are not immigrants like myself. You have to give up trying to be surprised. I submit you have to grow up. Right, especially libertarians and right-wing people, you guys have to grow up, right? And I say that with love and respect in this particular circumstance, right? In this particular circumstance, you have to grow up and stop trying to convince each other as to why is the government not looking at this? Why didn't Scotland Yard see this? They don't want to see this. You have to give up trying to want them to see this. You're wasting your time. What you have to realize is that there is a reason they don't want to see this. They are happy to not to see this. And I will close with this. My friends, Magduda. The radical Muslims that started murdering my ancestors in Lebanon 50 years ago would not have been able to do it. I'll be very clear on this. The radical Muslims in Lebanon that murdered my ancestors, my liberal and Christian ancestors, would not have been murdered but for the assistance of the communists and the Stalinists who were Lebanese of Christian descent. All right? So it was them that enabled the radicals to start committing the murders. So be very careful. I will say that one more time. The radical Muslims in Lebanon were a minority, were an absolute minority, just like they are in Europe. It was the communists and the Stalinists who enabled the radicals and got them weapons and gave them support and backed them up. Hey, Liran, my brother, they enabled the killings to take place. And I dare submit to you that that is exactly what's going on now in Europe. So let us now unite, us on the true left who love freedom of speech, and everyone else, and stop trying to say, wake up everybody. They're not, Scotland Yard is not asleep. It is aware of what's going on and it is happy. They still did the killings, that is true. So the gun, you could ban all guns, right? So, and that's the same as banning Muslims. Banning Muslims and banning guns is the same thing. You're banning the weapon. What is the thing that is enabling the weapon? That's pulling the trigger. And it is the hatred of Western civilization by citizens of that civilization itself. And that is a normal product of Western civilization. Throughout every era in the past, in the Roman, the Byzantine Empire, in Andalus in Spain, believe it or not, when it became a very advanced Arabic society, even in Spain itself in the 700s and 711, it's called 711, the Moors would not have taken over Spain but for one of the Christian kingdoms turning on the other two. These are the real enemies. So we must look deeper, look greater, look wider, and understand what the real enemy is. Okay? I really got to go back to work, but we'll talk about this more when I get home from work or have a sleep or whatever. All right, bye.